Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is when you are tuning into this show. I want to welcome you to another episode of Inspirational Talk with Tennille, the show where we deal with everyday people with extraordinary stories, making intentional choices to be the best versions of themselves. I am your host, international award winning author and filmmaker Tennille M. Jackson, and I'm just so excited about today's show. Okay, y'all, let's over here. Y'all gotta wait because I gotta get Instagram situated a little bit better than they are. Hold on, hold on. But I do want to thank you all for tuning in. So as you come on, regardless of where you are coming on from, whether you are watching on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, or even listening from Wisdom, please feel free to say hello. That is one of our three rules of protocol. So, number one, you want to make sure you're saying hello. Number two, you want to like and share the video. And number three, you want to tag somebody that you believe would benefit from this broadcast. Who would benefit from today's show? Well, any authors that we have, any artists, hey, Miss Ella, hello, Nicole. This is not a test run. Hello to everybody that's tuning in. We are officially going, and it's just a lot of stuff going on right now because I'm trying to get situated, but we are officially on. So it's not a test run. This is the real show. So be sure to tag somebody, especially like singers, people who are looking to do videos, storytellers on any level, people who love me and people who love my daughter. Tag them, get them in here because today we are talking, and it is inspirational talk. It's going to be an inspirational episode. But again, feel free to like, share, and tag. And so I'm going to bring over at this time my daughter, who is, and maybe I shouldn't, y'all, at some point, I'm going to stop referring to her just as my daughter because she got a whole name. She is in her own right an international, I'm speaking international, but she's in her own right an award-winning author and filmmaker, and she is the videographer, or what is it, director and cinematographer.
You ain't gotta refer to me as a cinematographer. I ain't that good.
Okay, director. She was the director for my upcoming video, Remembering, none other than Miss Autumn Jackson. Hello, Miss Autumn. How are you?
Hey guys.
So y'all look, okay, I'm still trying to get situated. I'm still trying to get situated on Instagram. Come on over a little bit more. Act like you like me a little bit. Okay. So everybody, y'all can see me on. You got to come over a little bit for Instagram right there. Okay. And then Facebook, y'all can see me. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, you guys are good. And then for Wisdom, you are like just listening. So hello, Mr. Long. Hey, Ellen. Hey, Nicole. Hey to everybody who is tuned in. Y'all listen, I am so excited to have my daughter on. I have interviewed you before, yes.
Yeah.
It's been some years. So do you remember the last time I interviewed you? What was it for? I think I remember. What was the last interview we did?
I think it was when I turned 18 for my books or something.
I think it was after that. I think it was after that.
I think it was after that.
I remember when you first won for your film. Remember
That was still 18. It might have been
you were
after, though.
18?
That's 2021.
Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. That was 2 years ago. Dang. So you are okay, y'all listen. So we going through this together. Can y'all tell this was not scripted? Yeah, Tribeca, thank you. So it was Tribeca. So you won your film won, and then you were able to go to Tribeca. We went
New
to New
York
York. This was like coming right out of
high school.
high school. So she had graduated from high school. We had come, we were a year out of pandemic, and like no shade, y'all. But I had to follow in my child's footsteps because she was an award-winning filmmaker before I was an award-winning filmmaker. So now my daughter is an award-winning author and filmmaker. Her mama is an international award-winning author and filmmaker. We bring her on international as well, even though she could care less about all of this
You're
stuff.
right.
But let's tell everybody a little bit, just like you have the floor now. So you tell everybody a little bit about who you are.
Well, right now I'm working on a lot of directing more so. I was doing cinema, I was doing screenwriting before, but it turns out the screenwriting is not the same as an author. So like I'm still learning how to balance those two. So my teacher encouraged me to do directing. She think I got a better eye for it, and I trust the process. I'm not against learning with it. So I'm working on that as it pertains to school, and then I just go to work. I work in school right now. That's it.
So yeah, my baby do a lot. So she kind of glazed over some things. So I'm gonna slow it down and give y'all all of the ins and outs. She is a junior in college at this point, and her degree is gonna be in.
Motion picture television.
And so what she's looking to do with that degree is become a.
I want to be a director and a filmmaker.
So she's looking to be a filmmaker. She's looking to be a director. Okay. So when she come on, Miss Ellen, yes, that is what mamas do. Cause look, I am so proud right now. Okay, cause I know that I'm officially, I know how to be professional and everything. So it's like I know how to interview because y'all done seen me interview before, but I am like interviewing her, but I'm also proud mama. So I am pushing her as well. And when I say pushing her, I mean promoting her because Autumn, you all don't really see her a lot on social media.
Oh, never.
And that's because she's always grinding. So again, she said, you guys you may or may not know, she's an award-winning author. Autumn has an 8-book children's series. Well, I say children, but it's really for you, a teen series, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a young teen series, and she has an independent book that's called Hopelessly Persistent. So she's an award-winning author. Then she's been doing film, and her film won, and we went to Tribeca because of it. And then after that, last year we worked on my first project, which is why I'm now an international award-winning filmmaker. um Her name is Autumn, so this is Autumn Jackson, y'all.
How
This is,
y'all doing?
yeah, so this is my daughter Autumn. And so we worked last year. This was our first time working together
Yeah.
professionally.
Yeah.
Well, within this respect, because
Because you're my editor, and she always makes jokes because I have good storytelling, but like my grammar, like I can't spell, y'all.
she needs an editor.
I can't spell.
She needs an editor.
I don't do punctuation well. My teachers get on me all the time for that.
So my baby needs an editor. That's the issue. So in the literary realm, I'm her editor, but in the filmmaking realm, she's my editor. And so that's how we do that, right? And so last year, well, actually, it was toward 2021 leading into 2022. You served as my editor for my project, The Four Eyes of a Black Man. So
Right.
why don't we talk about that process? Because I don't know that I ever interviewed you about that process. Like at the premiere, we talked about it out loud live,
Right.
but I don't know that we ever talked about it like behind, well, like on this platform.
Right.
So let's start there, and then we will kind of go a little bit more to what we're talking about now. So how was it for you doing that project?
At first, I didn't want to do it because I didn't feel like I had enough skill set at that point because I was only in my second year. And then, like, I hadn't been working on Adobe that long because my school kept switching my editing software. So, my first year, I did Adobe. The second year, they had me doing Avid. I hated Avid. And so, I'm like, I don't really know if I can do it. But my mom had confidence in me. She was like, "Well, you didn't already
Mhm.
created other stuff, so I don't see what's the difference here." So her timeline, though,
Hush,
man,
wait a minute, wait a minute. I didn't know we was finna go into
you
that
just told
part.
me to talk about it.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Her timeline, though, she didn't like give herself enough time for it because she thought like realistically, she had like 28 men, and she thought we could do it in 3 months. And I still was in school, and she still had other projects, and everything wasn't already scoped it out. And my computer, I didn't know was the
Oh
wrong
my
computer,
God.
so I had kept crashing. And at one point, we had to go to her computer and transfer everything. We had to
It
pull
was
all nighters and shifts.
okay, well, so look, let's okay. So, a matter of fact, Matt, if you still watching, tag some of the other guys for me too. Get if anybody, I think I might have tagged Freddie early on, but like it's so there was a project, the Black Man Project, y'all. It was a documentary as well as a book, and I interviewed 28 black men across the country from ages 30 to 70. Okay, so understand the timeline. I got to put this in context. So understand that when I started this, we were still in the pandemic, right? So we were just about coming out of quarantine. We kind of was at a place where because I got the concept for it. I think it was like maybe at the top of 2021 where I wanted to do this project. And so initially I thought that it was going to be like an anthology because that's what I do. Then I was like, you know what? A lot of my guy friends that I wanted to interview, whereas they probably would be, they were great subject matter, but all of them, their strengths don't lie in writing. And so I'm like, but I think that I could get them all to interview. They would agree with an interview because even whether their strength was in writing or not, they all are super duper busy. And so I was like, okay, so let me see if I could just interview them. Now, for the record, I did good in my interviewing time.
She did.
I had all the interviews and stuff done.
She didn't have no B roll though either. Let me think that ahead. And for some of y'all interviews, since now we done with the thing, I can tell y'all about all this clapping and all background dogs barking, rope and every that can't happen no more. Fool. So if it's another project, your background needs to be quiet on the set, please.
Okay, so listen, that then kind of is shade on my part because you have to also remember this was my first
It
project. Okay,
was.
when I started, I didn't know that it was actually going to become a documentary. Like when I initially was interviewing these men, I was interviewing them to get content for a book. So I asked 28 men 28 questions, and I gave them leeway to answer the questions as much as little, however you feel like answering them. The only criteria they had was to just be honest, be truthful, be vulnerable. Okay. And so as I'm doing this, I think I'm maybe like two, three interviews in when I'm like, oh my God, this would be a powerful visual to like allow people to see some of this stuff. Now again, your girl I ain't took no classes. I'm not in school for motion picture television. I didn't know nothing about this. I just knew the idea that I had. That was it. I didn't already, I've been interviewing them, but I didn't know, that I should have said to them, we need a good background. We need for you guys to be quiet in the background.
But
Because
at the
again,
very least, don't wear no jingling jewelry. Like some of y'all, I couldn't even cut that out. I can't cut out dogs barking. You talking to friends.
oh, so okay, listen again. In their to their defense, the men did not know when I initially talked to them. We didn't know it was going to be a documentary. I had to go back later on to ask for their permission to use the content also for documentary. So it became an expository project, meaning that you didn't see them because, like, it probably would have been easier had we been able to use their visuals, right? But because the contracts, the NDAs that they signed basically said that I was not using their images, that, I basically had had the permission to use the content that they were providing, but not their pictures.
Mhm.
And again, because we were kind of, time was ticking away, once I got the ooh, ooh, ooh to let's do it actually as a documentary, that would have meant that I would have had to go back and re-interview and do different things. So I was like, let's see what we can do. And when I say that this child right here, and I'm sorry, not child, because she is 21, so she officially an adult, but she my child, so I'm always gonna refer to her like that. But when I say the brilliance that came in working with her, because she had insight that I didn't have, and this is where you insert her actual skill and knowledge, because this is what she's going to school for. So kind of like talk about like just the actual concept of what it was that you did being the video editor for the documentary.
So once she gave me the things, because I didn't really have to do much as it pertains to editing the audio because she already knew what clips she wanted to do. So in that way, that made my job easier because all I gotta do is piece it together. But she already said that she didn't have visuals, so and I already knew ahead. Well, we got to see something. It's this an hour and a
I
half, two
missed
hours
that part,
long.
y'all.
We got to see something. It can't be a black screen the whole time. So I just went ahead and I started looking for free clips that kind of matched what they were saying, or if it didn't match exactly, it went along the same lines, like you get what we was trying to go for. And so I didn't know how she was gonna feel about it because I'm like, I didn't ask her. I'm just put it in her. All she could tell me is no, she don't like it. And then if she say no, like she said, the time was clicking. So what you want to do then?
Yeah, and so, and again, so let's stop here, because I always tell y'all, like, there are lessons that I learned, because and it's Tyler Perry that said, like, there are no failures, right? You have you basically have lessons. So it's no losses, it's lessons. And so for me, again, this first time I ever done a documentary before, didn't really know what to do, how to do it. So in my head, when I asked Autumn to work with me, it was not for her to end up being the creative director, which is what she ended up being. In my head, I simply, because I hadn't thought that far, I hadn't thought it all out. And this is why two heads are always better than one. So I knew I had another person that I wanted to actually do the visuals for. So in my head, I simply was giving Autumn all of the video footage to edit it down to just basically sound. I was giving it to her for the audio. I wanted her to make it sound the way that I needed it to sound. And so what happened was, as she was listening to that, then she was like she said, there were ideas that came in her mind, like, here's some visual for that, like this. And so when she started inserting herself, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, that would be good. Can we do so? Then at that point,
That's how I came on board full time. At first, she told me it's just supposed to be like probably not even a week, and it would have been just a week if it was just audio because she had, like I said, she already had knew the pieces she wanted to be clipped. That wasn't the hard part. The hard part was searching all the audios, and then because my mother's meticulous, like with the typing, she wanted a certain speed, and she didn't understand that every single time she didn't want it that speed, I had to go back and restart the whole typing thing over to read. So I had to show her one time. I'm like, you see how you see how long it's letter by letter, and you want to add explanation points. Some things got to be capital. Every time you want to make these changes,
oh
even though it's
God.
little, this time consuming, I still got to find the pictures.
And okay, and so again, it was my bad, y'all, because I didn't know. And I told her after it was over with, like, I just knew, even if you've worked with me, like when I first started in the literary world over a decade ago, like, whereas now I know how to make book covers, I know how to walk other authors through the process. Like when I first got started, I was so fortunate to work with a graphic designer who, she was very patient with me, and I would just tell her, because I didn't always know what I wanted, I knew what I didn't want, right? So like she would say, well, what's your concept for the book cover? And I'm like, Concept for the book cover. I don't know. Like, can you just show me some stuff? Or I would be able to tell her, like, okay, I know that I see it in either, red, pink, or blue or something like that. So don't come in here give me no gray or green because I didn't say gray or green. So like I knew things that I didn't want, but I didn't always know things that I did want. And so was the case with working on this documentary. Like I had no clue what the actual process was supposed to be. Like it would seem like common sense would say take a couple classes first. Hey, Miss Tracy, take a couple classes first, figure out what it means to be a documentarian. But I will say this also, I love watching documentaries. So I think that there is something that I did learn just in being a fan of documentaries
Man, you
because
definitely had that over me because I don't I like anime and cartoons.
but I knew the formula, right? And so I will say this too, being a publisher, like the experience that I had in the literary realm did translate in that every genre has a formula. So I did understand what I was looking for. I didn't necessarily understand how to get it, and I didn't understand how long it took to do it, but I did know, I'm like, okay, this is the vision behind it. And so what was great in working with Autumn, she's definitely very patient, y'all. She was extremely patient, not just because I'm a mama, because she did kind of buckle down on me. We'll talk about that in a second. But she was extremely patient, and she was able to explain to me, okay, well, you see, every time you asking for this, this is what it is that is, that is calling for me to have to do. And so once I understood that, then I was able to kind of have some foresight to say, okay, like now I could translate it in my mind to how I would work in the literary world. So like how I would go through publishing a book. Now my head, I started thinking about the film the way that I would think about a book once she explains certain things to me. Now Ellen says she knows what it takes. She makes it look easy. Oh my goodness. She says, my daughter does animation and stop motion. I was like, do another show. She told me I have to write scripts so that their voices would match what I'm saying. Listen, let me tell you something. So some of this stuff, it is, you kind of have to know what's going on in the world today. Even if you choose a particular genre, like you want to know what they're currently doing. And then it's also a point about being true to yourself, because there were some things that I definitely knew I wanted. I didn't care if this is how it actually is or this is what people do. I don't care about what people do, because at the end of the day, being the artist, I wasn't looking, I didn't know. Hey, Alexis, like Aretha is who told me about film festivals and stuff like that. Like, again, I had no foresight. The same way when I entered the literary realm back in 2010, y'all, I wasn't even a reader. So I definitely knew nothing about like all of the book festivals and expos and stuff. I had to educate myself about that. And then I ended up making strides in the literary world, becoming a national and international award winning author. And I was independent. I'm doing all this myself. Well, fast forward over a decade later, I'm coming into the filmmaking world. And so I didn't know that they had that stuff too. So, like, when we were putting this together, I was not creating this documentary because I was looking to become an award-winning filmmaker. There was a story I wanted to tell. Like I heard what these men were saying, and it was very powerful. And I'm like, oh my God, people need to hear this. And I knew that everybody didn't read. So just having it in the book, the being a black man is harder than you think. I knew that that was not going to be sufficient. So I wanted to have it as a visual. And so now I'm kind of getting schooled because my daughter is telling me, she's like, okay, well, mom, you need to kind of do this. You need to do this. And I kept on changing stuff. So
Yeah,
look at
yeah,
the face.
because first of all, we both are the same in when regards with meeting our deadlines, but
Yeah.
she likes to wait till last minute. I
Hush,
don't, because
hush,
that stresses me out.
hush.
So they were supposed to have the flash drive on Monday. That mean really Friday you shouldn't be changing nothing, nothing. You need to review it Wednesday, Thursday, No, I'm gonna give you Monday because I need time to make those changes because I know she's gonna have some changes, and that way we can give it to them on Friday. Nothing should be changed on Friday. Monday morning, I had an idea. No, you didn't. No, you didn't have an idea because it's time to turn it in. You can't have an idea. Don't have that idea. Put the idea back in the box.
She said there are no more ideas, mom. Like even before we led up to the final finale, right? Like we kept on having because I kept having different ideas. So
Mm-hmm.
she had to sit me down. She said, "Mom, listen. This is
It's
how
locked in.
it goes. You know how you give your clients deadlines and they can't keep changing their manuscripts? You cannot keep changing your visuals. Like, I don't care if you have any more ideas. We got to be able to move beyond this segment."
I told Lock it's locked in.
So, yeah, she had to get me, y'all. So, wait, we got a question. So, your question, Autumn, is what is your favorite part of producing?
Um, if you're talking about producing just in terms of editing, I like matching the words with pictures. Usually I'm good at that. If you're actually talking about producing like the people who finance, I don't like that. Like
I'm a
they
producer.
yeah, I often say that I take my hat off to it's hard. Like I'm in school right now, one of my classes, I can't stand that class. I can't wait till I'm finished. But yeah, I like to match stuff with the picture. Like I'm pretty good at seeing that. So that probably is my favorite part.
Yeah, she has really great vision, right? So like if you tell her something, like she's able to see it and then she can figure out how to make it be. For me, I'm very literal. So there were things that so to answer, so Ellen said, is there a video? So yes. So okay, so the name of the documentary, and I gotta put it on, I gotta remember where it's at. So
Vimeo or something, right?
it's on Vimeo, but I'm trying to, I think it's Educated and Empowered. And I might have to put this on Facebook too. Educated and Empowered.vhx.tv. I believe that's it. It might be a little bit more of a link beyond that. But here, okay, so here's the thing. There was the documentary, The Four Eyes of a Black Man. It came out last year in 2022.
Mhm.
And we went on to win, I think we outright won 6 film festivals, and we were selected for. So you get selected first. So we were overall selected for 9. Of those 9, 6 of them end up becoming winners. So 3, it was just selected, and I don't want to say just because it's still a big deal even when you're selected. So 3 of them we were just selected, and that was it. We didn't go up higher on the ladder. But then the other of the 9, the rest of the 6, we actually ended up winning. And so we won national awards as well as international awards. We won, I think 2 or 3 in India. We won Paris. We won. I'm trying to remember what other international, because I think it was 3 different countries that chose out, that selected our film. And then we won, like I want to say it's California, Detroit. Well, no, Detroit was just a selection, but
Mhm.
California, um, I don't remember, maybe Rhode Island. I don't know, y'all, but it was three festivals in the States, and then it was 3 festivals abroad, 3 or 4 festivals abroad that that where we won, but we were selected both 9 times. So anyway, that's kind of how that went. So if you all want to actually see the film, then you can use the link. I don't know if it's in here or not. I'll put it in Facebook later. So I'll put it in a Facebook chat later where you can go to Vimeo and you can either rent it for $4.99 or buy it for $11.99. And it's just been doing some things. It's been doing some great things, and we did a whole premiere. I rented out the 87th Street movie theater here in
Mhm.
Chicago, and like we had men, the men that were in it, again, remember it's 28 men. I think 15 of them from different all across the country. Y'all, they came. Bless my soul. The guys came from Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Georgia, of course, different parts of Illinois, and I think it was one more. So it's like 6 or 7 of the states that ended up coming, and that just blessed me because, first of all, people don't have to think about it they don't have to think about you enough to want to come. And again, these were men from 30 to 70 and all different walks of life, and they all love the project. And so the point just is that that was my first time working with Autumn, and
Mhm.
it was just really, it was a blessing to be able to work with her where I'm almost in her world now, right? And then we kind of made it our world together. And so, because it went from, when she started out as being an author back in, what was that, 7 years ago?
I was
You
in
was
eighth
14.
grade when it was published. Yeah.
So you were 14 and she's 21 now. So when she decided to become an author, like I had my own publishing company and she always liked to write, but she told me, and I told her, I said, well, baby, whenever you think you're ready. And she came to me and she was like, I think that I'm ready now. And here's the thing, like, not for nothing, y'all. Hey, Homer, not for nothing, but just because it's my child, I she didn't get no easy passes. Like, she had to do the work, and she did the work 9 times over. Like I said, she had 8 book series, and then she did another one. I think that was what, in 2019 when you did Hopelessly Persistent,
Um,
or 2020. It was like right before the pandemic.
I'm gonna say
It might have been
it might have been in
2020.
it. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's 2020.
So that was her coming in over here, but she mastered that. And then she started college, because one of the whole reasons why she went to college was because.
I wanted to turn my 8 book series into a TV series.
And so I thought that that was awesome, for her to say, "Hey, I think that these books could actually, I see them as a series, like a visual series, but I don't want anybody else to direct it. Like, I want to direct my own stuff." And that was her motivation for going to school. And like I say, now at this point, she is a junior. So it's, oh yeah, no, 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 yeah, absolutely. Now, family or not, Miss Ellen, like at the end of the day, it's my imprint. And I look. So she had to bring it. And I mean, she's been able to go to different schools and talk to the different young people because of her books. She did a mentoring thing, so there was some things that came with it. So again, this ain't just a, oh, my mama like my stuff. No, she's been in different schools in Chicago to mentor other kids because of her books. So other people have her books as well. But okay, so for those of you who are just tuning in, let me stop real quick and say this. Yeah, she does children's books. Well,
Gotta
I don't
specify
want
the
to say
child's
children.
age.
Yeah, let me see. I say children, but it's really like middle
Preteens,
school.
yeah,
Yeah, so I would say between like 12 to 15, 11 to 14,
something
something
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah,
That's the age bracket of her children's books, because it's which should I choose, or what should I do?
that's both of them. The
All
first one is what should I choose?
Go
What
ahead.
should I do?
Mm-hmm.
All alone, all together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the fourth
Mm-mm.
one. I know the last one is the last step of the way.
Something about a turn, like
Unexpected
unexpected
turn.
turn,
Is that
and
6? I don't. 4 ain't coming to me right now. 4 and 5.
yeah.
It's
So
not coming to me. I didn't know
yeah.
I was gonna have a test.
Yeah, I don't. But she, so it's 8 of them. Hey, Miss Tanya. So she got an 8. So that's an 8 book series, and then she did an independent book that's called "Hopelessly Persistent," and that one was really, really great. Like, and with "Hopelessly Persistent," she designed her own logo and everything. So in her own right, she's absolutely brilliant, and so I love being her publisher. But then, like I say, we crossed over, and no, so they all, the 8 books are sequels. So it's like book one, two, three, and they're numbered. So you know which one you getting. So it's like book one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Those are sequels. But then Hopelessly Persistent is a standalone book. So it's some totally different characters and all of that type of stuff. So, and all of her stuff, you can either go to my website, weareaps.com, or go to Amazon. Like her stuff is just like with mine. So you can go to Amazon, you can go to Walmart, you can go to Target. Like, you can look her books up and you can find her stuff too. Keyword search her name the same way with my books. And so and again, she's a quiet powerhouse. Like, she doesn't go out and she's not on, because here's the other thing, y'all, and I know y'all tuned in for the video and we're gonna get to the video in a minute, but When she came out as an author, I treated her just like I treat all the rest of my authors, meaning we had a sit down talk and I asked her, what is her goal from doing this? Like, what is it that she wants to happen? Like, I did not want it to be that I was pushing her to live my dream. So, if it's all you want out of this is to, because what did you want to do the first time with the first book?
I just wanted to write the book. Like I wanted to be an author. That's what I wanted to be for a long time. So once I did that, and then people kept asking me, "Well, what do you want to do when you grow up?" I didn't know because I already did what I wanted to be. So I didn't know.
And that was the thing. Like, she'd already being an author. Because what made her want to publish a book? Why did you start writing? Do you remember why you started writing?
I remember I liked that you wrote, and I just like to write and tell stories.
Because what would happen is she would tell her little sisters, because she's the oldest of my four girls, so she would always tell her sister stories, and so that's what motivated her to write, so that she had stories to read to them. So like they would always ask her, hey Jennifer, hey Tavetta, they would ask her, well, what happened to the rest of it? So she would keep on writing stories so that she could tell so she could tell them what happened, right? And so, um, you know what? Let me see what you say at the end of the show. Can we both? Yes. What I'm going to do once we get done, I will place both of our Amazon links in there and all of her stuff, because she actually has her own website, kidtumtum.com. And then it's on APS that we are APS.com. But like I said, it's also in on Amazon and stuff too. Let me see. Tanya said, you are a true inspiration to young ladies across the world.
Oh,
Proud of you.
thank
Keep up the good work.
you.
Girl, I told you, ain't just your mama that be saying that. But listen, so that's kind of, so when she started as an author, she did not desire to be world renowned.
No, I didn't like to talk. So like she wanted me to talk and tell the story. I didn't like. I still don't really talk. I talk more now, but I still don't talk that much. I talk when you like address me,
She's
but
an introvert
no.
like her mama.
Yeah.
And so I didn't push her. I respected that. So her thing was she wanted to write the book. Okay, let's write the book. And then by the time we got to like book, matter of fact, I let her do the whole series and I didn't really push her. Like there were a couple connections that I had that maybe somehow they knew, because I'm still a publisher, so I still got good product that I want other people to know about. And so I had a couple encouraging talks with her to say, hey, why don't you could go on the stage? That wouldn't be that hard, you know. But I didn't make her bring this on as her career, you know. It was just like getting her to see certain things. Now, when she came up with hopelessly persistent, that was a whole nother thing. By that point, you kind of got a little bit.
Yeah, I was older. I was like in my sophomore, junior year in high school. And one thing about me, I love Spanish. I love the language. That should have been my first language because I can't speak English because I can barely read. But I love Spanish, so I wanted to incorporate that into the reading. So
So she has bits and pieces, and it works because I also speak Spanish, so I was able to edit her Spanish manuscript too. So the point is, y'all, like, we had a really great time working together as publisher and author, right? Like being able to push her, encourage her to do different things, and so she did that. And you know, like I say, she knew that she wanted the books to become movies, so she went to school. So then I end up making a movie because she had already become an award-winning filmmaker. And she was like, when we interviewed with that, and I'm like, so are you proud? Like, it's huge the fact that you're going to Tribeca. Do you remember what she said about that?
um I didn't do nothing. All I did was write it. I didn't even, and that's not even the genre I really wanted to be known for because it wasn't like it was fiction or drama. It- I just happened to, I didn't record nothing like the visual. I didn't even film it. I just wrote what he was saying.
So it was a two-part thing. Somebody actually recorded, she wrote it, and it won, but she didn't even know what Tribeca was at the time. She didn't
Uh-huh.
even understand. how big a deal that was. It was just like, she was like, I mean, I wrote it. I don't understand why everybody is so excited, or like, what's the big deal? And I'm like, Autumn, Tribeca is like one of the biggest. It's like three huge film festivals. Like, again, I was not a filmmaker at the time, but because I watch film, for me, everybody know about Tribeca, Sundance,
Sundance.
and I think it's Cannes or Cannes, however you say it. Like, if that's what you do, them the film festivals that you go for. You finna be at Tribeca because you did a script. Like, that's a big deal. They fly us to New York because of something that you did. That's a big deal, you know. And so her thing was, oh, well, I'm good now because I'm an award-winning author, award-winning filmmaker. I've achieved my goals. Like, I thought that was so awesome. Tavetta says, so great to see you all grown up. Keep up the good work. We get that a lot. We get that we look alike. I still think she looks more like her dad,
I
but
think I look like myself,
it,
but nobody told me that growing up. So
she it, anyway, hello, Miss I am Jen Jones Grant, who was in Chicago, and I didn't get the chance to see you when you was here, but that's okay. But here's the thing, y'all. So real quick, I gotta deviate because y'all know I gotta tell y'all why y'all watching. I appreciate y'all watching, but I also want to make sure that if you want for us to promote your business, please remember that we do have sponsorship packages, y'all. So I go live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, with the Educated and Empowered podcast. So if you have a business, regardless of what industry it is, we got you and we can promote you. We educate and empower personally, professionally, politically, socially, and spiritually. So I am sure that your business falls into one of those categories. And so if you would like for us to promote your business to our audience, you can become a sponsor. Sponsorship packages start with as low as $100. So y'all hit me up, and especially for my indies, regardless of your indie author, creative, whatever, entrepreneur, make sure that you hit me up and we can get you going and start you in December. Now, coming back talking to you guys, if you're just now tuning in, I am interviewing my daughter, who is in her own right an award-winning author and filmmaker, and she also is the director of my new video that will be debuting no matter, I'm saying next, but this coming Wednesday.
December
This
6th,
Wednesday,
whatever day that
December 6th.
is.
That's Wednesday. So in 6 days, y'all, my new
It's
video
already December 6th.
is 6 days. So in 6 days, my new video, Remembering, will be dropping. And Autumn is the one who directed my video. Now I'm gonna yield the floor and let you kind of talk about how did this whole thing come up? Because whether y'all know or not, I didn't ask her to do this.
Nah, she
This
didn't ask me for this.
so let's talk about how this whole thing came to be.
So, one of my classes in school is called Making the Music Video. And so when I took that class, somewhere I did not think we would be like having to do it ourselves. Like, I don't know what I thought, but I know when my teacher was first presenting it, he completely lost me. He was giving me social anxiety, talking about go to somebody like renowned, famous, go to a concert, ask them, can you get permission? I can't do that. I just told you I don't talk to people. I don't really even listen to music for real. So I don't know what I was really thinking
When you
taking this
took the
class.
class.
Like, I'm like, cause he's talking about the music videos and what we watch, the technique. I don't even watch music videos, y'all. I just listen to it on music and keep it going. I ain't. So I'm like, okay, well, I need somebody I know. Luckily, people in my family write music, so I was listening to different songs, and I need like the lyrics to create a visual in my head. And like with my cousin Nate, he got music, and I was going to use his stuff, ask for him, but you need high performance, and I don't know a lot of people who got that type of high performance. Number one, two, if I'm the one who has to film it, I don't got confidence in myself as a cinematographer. Three, it's a certain type of location you need. This low budget. This mm-mm, mm-mm. I got five other classes. No,
We gotta
no.
find a way to make it work.
So
Oh
yeah,
God.
And so then I was listening to some of Tierra's music, and
which is another
yeah,
cousin.
that's another cousin. I wasn't against it, but I didn't want the traditional performance route because that's normally what you see for gospel. But I couldn't think of nothing else. The furthest I got was like a coffee shop, and you can't do that the whole music video. That's boring. So I just dropped that ball. And then when I was listening to hers,
Her
I
would
just
be me.
yeah. So when I was listening to my mom's, um, I just seen more visuals. Like because it's remembering, I knew I wanted like waves and stuff to crash. Like I knew I wanted that. That was certain. And then it's like I don't know. The lyrics was kind of already descriptive. So like I already had the ideas, but then I want to keep in mind if she said yes and if she wanted to be the actor for it. I know certain things about my mom, so it's like I had a few ideas for it, but the ideas like that was on the top of my list, I pushed to the back because I'm like she may not be comfortable with it, and I didn't want to put her like in an uncomfortable predicament. If that makes sense.
It makes sense.
So yeah.
So when she presented the idea to me, so she came, hey Portia. So she came to me, I don't even remember when it was, but she came to me some months ago and she was like, Mom, how would you feel about me directing a video? Hey David, how would you feel about me directing a video for your song Remembering? And as soon as you said it, what did I say?
It's like, oh yes, I always wanted a video for that anyway.
I did. Like when I released the song. So if you guys have not checked out my song Remembering, it's on all of your streaming platforms, Amazon, iTunes, all of that type of stuff. So when the song came out in my head, I saw it as a video, but she ain't no filmmaker. Like I mean, like, well, I'm a filmmaker, but I'm not a director. I'm not a music director. Like this ain't.
I wouldn't say I'm a music director either. I told y'all I don't watch
But
videos,
it's
so
still it's different.
yeah.
It's different. Like I'm a documentarian. Like I think that it's different. Like I have a lot of filmmaker friends who do like narrative movies, and so I ain't did that yet. That ain't. But in my head, I kind of saw what it could be, but I didn't have anybody to do it, and I wasn't number one. I didn't feel that I definitely didn't have the time at the point it came out last year because 2022 was a huge year for me. And so when she brought it up, I was like, oh my God, yes, right. And I was explaining to her because first of all, let me say this again. I do have a song, David. Yes, I will get that to you. So let me say this at the end of the day, she's very professional. Like the same way that we would schedule meetings when she was my author and I was her publisher, and we would have those meetings. Like she scheduled a meeting with me because she wanted to show me her concept. So she had storyboards where she wanted to walk me through what her concept was, what it was that she envisioned. And so it was really something special for me because I'm seeing her growing, right? I'm seeing her uh becoming who it is that she said 3 years ago, this is what I want to do, and she's getting here, she's doing it. And so I was impressed just with the storyboards, the fact that she does have such a great work ethic, and it wasn't like well, because this is my mama, I can just do whatever. But she came to me and she's like, hey, this is what I see you doing. I mean, down to the outfits that you guys will see me wearing. She chose the outfits for me. She showed me, the locations, what she wanted to do. She did all the prep work for it. And I was highly impressed, now go ahead and go ahead.
It's just I don't know. I don't feel like I really articulated nothing because I had to just leave her high and dry because I had to do the cinematography too. So basically be behind the camera. I technically know how to do it. I don't like to do it though. Like I don't feel like that's what my strong suit is. That's my fault though because I don't practice with my camera. But I don't feel like that's my strong suit is. So like I told her beforehand, kind of what I expected. The day of, she was I can't focus on you. I gotta focus on me so we can get the shots. So
But I think again, that's what comes That's what comes by having a team that gets each other, right? So like, yes, it's true that the day of, she did not give a lot of directives, but again, as I told her, here's the thing: when we sat down in our meetings, because we had two meetings in advance, first, you're not dealing with somebody that is totally unknowledgeable. I wrote the song. I know, I already know. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I know where my head was when I wrote the song. I know the feelings that I felt when I wrote the song. So I know how to tap into that, right? Like, all I basically had to do was listen to her directives. So like, she told me, like, so I showed you guys two of the videos, like the behind the scenes thing. So when we went to the beach, first of all, she's the one that chose direct. She's like, I see us being at a beach and I see you doing this and this and this. So she'd already told me in advance what she saw, and I already knew the emotions that went with that because I wrote the song. So that was easy. And like I told her, when we were actually there were times if I was unsure, I asked her, okay, well, what is it that you want me to do here? Or how do you want me to do this next? She told me. That's what a director does. And I think that sometimes when you don't know a job, it's easy to be very unsure of yourself. But like I told her, you got to bring that in. Like, I'm your mama, so therefore you get away with that. But when you work with somebody else, they don't have to know that you don't know. You know, like, you communicate with them, and this is the point of communication. When y'all sit down and you have that meeting and you present in the storyboards, you leave it open. If you're unsure, then you leave it open for dialogue, so that way they can say, they can feel comfortable saying, hey, I got this idea, or are you open to that idea? You know, let me see. I'm in the market for my base on a true story books, also written this song. Can you create a vision on my video? Homer, she can. We can get a consultation set up for you, and then we can see what happens from there. Just understand that she is still in school, which means that her availability may be limited. And let us know in the comments where you are from, so we can know whether or not this would be an in person or a Zoom situation. Starting out, it'll probably be a Zoom meeting, but then, like, if it's an in person thing, we could probably make that happen if you're in Chicago. But like I say, the initial meeting will just be Zoom. But let us know where you listen to. So what happened was, it's like, okay, she had, for me, I felt that she was very clear. Like, I believe that her storyboard ideas were very clear. Like, I saw it. And I mean, to the point where, and again, I'm not giving away anything because I showed y'all the behind the scenes. Like, there was a point where we had to go to the cemetery. Her idea was to go to the cemetery. Talk about that.
So that was my idea, but I know she hates the cemetery. So I had other ideas. She came back and said this is the one she preferred though out of the other because I had given her two other options, but she was like, but it makes sense for this song to be at the cemetery. So for me, that meant I already knew like being somewhere she's uncomfortable. I didn't want her to be there longer than she had to. So I had to do pre-shooting to basically get an idea of where I wanted the location to exactly be. I knew that she wouldn't be able to see her mother's grave and like be able to function still because I needed her to still be able to act. So that wasn't what I was going for. And then because with the graves, they got the names on it, so you can't have like people names and stuff in it. You got to be leery towards copyright. So I just needed like the scenery so people could get the concept of it more so.
Yeah, so let me put that in a bit more perspective. When she say, I don't really like the cemetery, I haven't been to the cemetery in 20 years, literally. My mother died in 2002. I went to the cemetery in 2002. um oh, David said he loves cemeteries. God bless you, David. That is not my ministry, that is not my thing. Like, just generically, do I have a problem with, say, if you, so I don't have a phobia of cemeteries. So I want to like get this clear. I don't have a phobia of cemeteries. I can drive by cemeteries. I don't have anxiety and nothing like that. But what the ask was to go to the cemetery where my mother was buried. I have not been to that cemetery since 2003. And I had to stop going to the cemetery because it created such anxiety for me. It created negative feelings for me. And I remember talking to my grandfather, and he had said to me, he was like, if going to the cemetery, visiting your mother is causing you to be depressed, making you sad, then I don't recommend that you go, because I don't think that her desire would be for you to be depressed. Like, going to see her should not make you sad, and you do not just have to go to a cemetery to spend time with your mother, or talk to her or whatever. And so I hadn't been to the cemetery since 2003. When my father's died, my grandmother died, I do not go to a cemetery. So, like, after the funeral, if there's a funeral, once that service is over, that is the last time I see a body. I do not go to the cemetery. We don't do the bury. I cannot take it. Like, I know my limits and I can't. So when she came up with the concept of saying, um, what I see is you being in the cemetery, and she, gave me the entire vision, I'm like, I'm with it. I I was praying, but because it's at a point to go. Because Ellen had a question. She said, "Do I listen without reservation?" We gonna come as it pertains to her directing my sets. We gonna come back and fully answer that. But as it pertains to this specific thing, I definitively trusted her vision. Like, everything, and y'all, and we'll ask her, but everything in terms of location that she said, I didn't give her a problem. The vision that she said she had with it, what she wanted to do, it was. I told her when I saw those storyboards, I said, Making this video is going to send me to therapy. It might be my therapy, but it's going to send me to therapy because it."
It made you deal with it.
Oh yeah, like, it was definitively hands on. Like, I had to go back and tap into because the only way to make it look authentic was to tap into the place that I was when these things actually happened. That was hard, especially like one of the scenes. We'll
Okay.
say it like that. On one of the scenes, it was extremely hard. But go ahead, I'm gonna shut up and let you talk.
Um, I really have nothing else to say. I will say this because we're in Chicago, you got to pay attention to the weather. Like that's why a lot of my shots was done so early because we did do one of the scenes on the beach. You can't. She wasn't finna go to the doggone beach in the winter. She don't go to the beach, so she
Not a beach
definitely
person.
wasn't finna go to the beach in the winter. It wasn't gonna happen. Like you don't want to put your actors in unideal situations anyway where they could get sick. So I wanted to make sure that the weather was ideal for us, and it was. It wasn't necessarily continuity issues until the end, which wasn't on hers because of my camera work. But we found ways to cheat that. Same with the cemetery. I wasn't necessarily the happiest that it wasn't. I
Because
thought
it
it was
was
gonna be
raining.
yeah. It started raining in my
Yeah.
shot before that. It wasn't raining, so I didn't know how that was gonna look. Plus, it messed up my camera. Like I already was having making me work harder. But
Okay, but listen, hold on, because Ellen has said something I wanted to bring up. Oh, for each location were the property owners or whoever willing. Yeah, so we use public places.
mhm.
So there were three different locations. The first location was the cemetery, the beach. So and y'all, let me just tell y'all how God gave us favor. We went to the beach, a popular beach in Chicago. I'll just say it like that. And you probably know which one it is when you see it, because like the skyline, we were able to capture the skyline in the background. And so when we went to the beach, y'all, it was a beautiful day outside, because this was months ago. And
Mhm.
this is again why it's so great working with Autumn, because she is great when it comes to deadlines. She understands, okay, if I have to do,
Yeah, I'm really serious about that.
yeah,
So
because she's like, okay, if it's due, even though it was due in December, she's like, she knew when she started the class back in like September, August or September. She's like, okay, mom, can we get the, she's like, if we can get the beach scene now, I'll leave you alone for the next month or two. I just need us to get to the beach while it's still nice outside, because I know you're not going to want to go outside once it gets cold outside. So we end up going to, yeah, I think, was it Lake Michigan
I
is,
thought it was Rainbow.
no, that's the name of the beach. We talking about the, never mind. Anyway, but the whole thing was, she was great in terms of also being compliant and understanding of my schedule. So
Mm-hmm.
the fact that
Got
we
to.
understood each other's schedules, and she's like, okay, I just need, can you give me 3 hours on this day and we'll do this. Then I won't need you again for probably another few weeks. So we were able to do that, even though she explained to me that most music videos are kind of done in the same day,
Yeah,
right?
so typically they done within the same day, but because I knew her stuff was gonna take more of an emotional tone on her, I didn't really want all that to be within the same day scope. And then we had to bring in another actor too. And so once you start adding more pieces and more people, like for the schedules, it's hard getting people's schedules to mesh. Like it's, and I'm like, it's not due to December. So I mean, the earlier we start, we'll still have time. I can still cheat it because on the end, they're not gonna know
And that's her strong suit, is editing.
for sure.
So she knew that editing was not going to be an issue for her. And so we had the beach, we had the cemetery. Oh, and what I was saying was, as beautiful a day it was, there was literally not one person on the beach when we went. It was almost like the Lord said, you know what, nobody come until they leave, because we were there for over an hour, maybe an hour, hour and a half,
2 hours.
something like that, close to 2 hours. Nobody was on the beach. It was not, it was probably like close to 70 degrees outside. Nobody was on the beach. Like, we were wrapping up and then we saw people starting to come on. I'm like, OMG. And so that was the beach. The another location was the cemetery, same thing. Like, nobody was at the cemetery. And then we used my home as the final location. So those were three locations. So yeah, it was not a problem to do any of that. Leah said that she may let you do her next music video, and the video, Leah, is going to be coming out on Wednesday. It's going to debut on December 6th, because that is my mom's birthday. And so we are going to do, we're going to release it on her birthday. So that's the reason why I had her as my special guest today. So that way we could kind of talk about this process, and you guys be prepared. It's going to, I think I had this, I don't remember when it's set to premiere in terms of time, but once y'all, whenever y'all wake up, whatever coast you on, because I'm probably going to release it as of midnight, so that way no matter when you wake up, you'll be able to see it, but the video will be out then. And David says, do you do a lot of music videos?
This is my first one. I've never done it. After watching them in my class, what I noticed is that music videos are not the same as narratives, so they like are more abrupt. They don't usually have a sense or reason to it. It's just like a lot of music videos is feel like, how do you
Mm-hmm.
feel? What's the emotion associated to it? That's not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily the same with narrative because there's dialogue, so it's like more about acting. You can
Mm-hmm.
kind of cheat that with music.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I got that like skill set yet.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I said I'm good. I would have to listen to your lyrics first and see how that comes to play.
Yeah, because we did a little bit of both. Because I also had her, like, there were a couple ideas that I had. And
Mm-hmm.
so I grew up watching videos. Like, this generation, it's not really a lot of, well, I, was, I don't think it's a lot of music videos. I don't watch videos no more. But when I was younger coming up, I used to watch videos. So like in the 90s and stuff, I watched music videos. So I showed her a few different videos to kind of give her an idea of like angles and different concepts of what I had in my head for, like, I think maybe one of the scenes. And so she was able to like see what that was. And so like I say, it was really awesome. Let me see. David says, if you want to come on my radio show and talk about making this video, let me know. Absolutely. We down for it. We down for it, David. So just like let us know when it comes out on December 6th. So if you want us to come, the week after, do whatever the week after, just let us know. But it was I wanna say this, y'all. First of all, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Um, I want to say this. She asked me, well, I asked her, I said, because this was our first day. We were going out first day about to film. And I was, I asked her, I said, if I want your honest opinion. I said, if somebody was to ask me, to let them direct the video, so it could either be you or them, and that person had all the experience in the world, and they could guarantee that this was going to be an award winning video, like it was going to go viral or whatever videos do. So I could either work with them or I could work with you. Who do you think that I would choose? What did you say?
I said, I don't know, probably them. They got more experience.
And what did I say?
You said you would have chose me because of what the video means to you and because of the type of piece it is.
Absolutely. Because here's the thing. Number one, in that situation, they didn't say that me working with Autumn wouldn't guarantee that the video wouldn't go viral. They just said that working with the other person, it would guarantee that it would go viral. But here with this piece, with this video, to me, and I told her, I don't care if nobody else likes it. And as an artist, I don't care what type of artist you are, whether you are an author, a filmmaker, a singer, like typically when you are doing your pieces, you want to be true to yourself. And for me, I didn't care what was most important to me. And I'm gonna try not to cry when I say this because I cry every time I say it. You all have to understand this song that I wrote this for my mom, about my mom, as a tribute to my mother. So do you understand, for me, what this means? The fact that I wrote a song, my daughter is directing me in a song that I wrote about my mother. This is legacy for me. Like, nobody working with nobody else, unless it was another one of my daughters, nobody else can give me what that is. That is priceless. Like, to be able to have my daughter work with me in this, see the vision for it, help to bring it to pass. Like, it made me feel closer to her, and it made me, because I've seen the video, y'all. I watch it like every day, but that's okay. But it made me feel closer to my mother. It made me feel closer to her. And I was like, I don't care if nobody else like it. I don't care if nobody else get it. Cause this wrap it up. This the end. Like, this is probably one of the best gifts that I could ever have, because when my mom passed away, it was very difficult for me to hear her voice, to look at a picture of her. I felt so lost, disconnected, so many things. And we're not going to make this live go into that. Um, but all I can say is that when I saw the video, we had to do a few edits, but just even the first time, the raw footage of what she was doing, I was in tears. Like, everything when I wrote this, because understand too, before the song came out in 2022, I wrote this song years ago. My mother died in 2002. I wrote the song years ago. And when I wrote it, it was like a poem that then became a song. And again, real quick, I have to shout out Matthew Long, Courtney Music, because when I told him about my vision, like, he had performed at my gala, the was it that year, or the year before? The year before, he had performed at my gala, and he did a tribute to his mother. And me knowing that he's a producer, I reached out to him and I was like, I love what you did for your mother. My mother, it'll be 20 years next year, meaning 2022. And I have words that I wrote for her that I would love to turn into a song. Can you help me? And he did just that. And we were able to release Remembering on August 18th, which marked the 20th year of her death anniversary. And so, um, like I say, when I wrote the poem, I could hear it as a song. Once we got the song, I could see it as a video. And so Autumn brought to life what I had in here and what I had in here. And now I get the gift of being able to see it every day. And like, I'm sharing it with y'all. And I don't mean this in no mean or harmful way. I don't care if y'all like it or not. Like, I love it. And it just it make me feel all the feels. You know how I said when I watched Maxine's Baby, Tyler Perry's documentary, it makes you feel all the emotions. So I will say this because y'all, I didn't know it's this far into the, I didn't know it's this long. But if you've ever lost anybody, I think this video will make you feel all the feels. I think it's going to evoke all the emotions that it's supposed to evoke. Um, if you are not, so let me also give a disclaimer or a warning. If you are not ready to deal with what comes with the emotions that comes with losing someone, maybe you just lost somebody and you ain't ready to be in that place of remembering, you may not want to watch the video on December 6th. Um, but I'm going to give you guys a link. I'm going to give you guys the link on December 6th. It will be available because I want y'all to go to my YouTube channel. If you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, just like with everything else, it's at My Name is Tennille. That's where it will be. So if you're subscribed to it, you should get the notification that is going to premiere. But I want to thank my Autumn for coming on.
You're
Y'all,
welcome.
y'all stay on the lookout for her.
Y'all won't see me. I don't post them unless it's my birthday. Y'all ain't gonna. I don't be on social media. I'm sorry, y'all.
And like
I'll
so
try to
many of
do
my
better.
other authors, I have to work with her, to understand, but right now that's not her why, right? Right now she's in school, junior year. She has another 3 semesters and
For
she's
sure,
done.
this one about done.
3 semesters and she's done. So that is her primary focus. Oh, but let me do say this. Y'all haven't seen the end of me and Autumn's work together because whereas this is about to release on Wednesday, I'm working on my next documentary. I survived it all. So whereas the last one was for the men, this one is something special for the women, and it is going to debut in March for Women's History Month. And she's back again, y'all. She's gonna be
Did you
my
finish all your
editor.
interviews?
Hush. That ain't what we talking about right now. I'm
Okay.
halfway through. I'm
Okay.
halfway through. Y'all
Okay.
see how she keep me in check,
I'm
but
just
that's
because
all
you
right.
said March of next year.
This coming March, that's only like 4 months away. I'm gonna be done.
Okay.
It's gonna be done.
I'm just
We
saying
saw that we
it's
went through it before we did it. It's better this time. Y'all, we gonna have this conversation offline because she
okay.
ain't finna be checking me on in person in front of folks. But listen, for real, Homer, absolutely. I got your email address. We're gonna write it down and we're gonna reach out to you. I'm going to also let me make sure it's in here. Hold on. Cause we got okay, yeah. So it's in the Facebook feed. Send me a friend request to Homer, and we will definitely get something going, y'all. But I'm telling y'all, I'm not just promoting her because she's my daughter. She just happens to be my daughter. Like she's phenomenal. And I just happen to have the gift of being able to be her mom. But if you are looking for somebody who is, and again, right now, she probably can only help you during her off season. So she go to school in the fall and the spring. So the summertime, she probably,
You
when
just have more availability choices depending how busy you is yourself.
yeah. So it's awesome. And I want to thank her. I want to thank all of y'all for tuning in. It's a lot of different thank you so much, Tavetta. It's a I'm so tired of this phone here. Hold on. And to all my wisdom listeners, let me say this, y'all, real quick. Those of y'all who watch us, so this is simulcasting on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Wisdom. For whatever reason, the Wisdom app, it keeps on silencing out. So for all of y'all who over here on Wisdom and y'all been listening, let me give y'all a special shout out real quick to all of y'all. Thank y'all, because it's too many of y'all. I thought I was gonna give a real quick shout out, but it's a whole lot of y'all over here on Wisdom. Thank y'all so much for being patient, because I get involved in the conversation and I look over and it's done. I don't even know how it be done happen, but it be done muted itself. So thank y'all to whoever that's watching. If you guys are not already connected with me, please go ahead across all those social media platforms that I just named: Facebook, Instagram,
Mhm.
LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Wisdom, Clubhouse, whatever, all of them. And you can find and follow me at my name is Tennille. Tomorrow, I can't believe it's Friday, but tomorrow is
Praise
Friday,
God.
and it is going to be my last day because I'm going to be on hiatus for a week. See, this is what I'm talking about. Just random stuff. I'm sorry. Okay, but tomorrow is my last day. I will be on hiatus that full first week of December. I'm on hiatus, but when I come back on December 11th, I will be all new at 2. So you guys continue to tune in, continue to watch. Y'all know I'm still probably going to be posting. But thank you so much. And I am just so grateful to all of y'all. So thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, you all stay inspired.
Didn't press that.